everybody. February 6th is International Day for Zero Tolerance of Female Genital Mutilation, also known as FGM. And as the name suggests, it's not something that a lot of us will want to go through. It's not something that is popular on our side of the world, but this video is just to shed a light on what goes on with women on the eastern side of the globe. So this year's theme is building a solid and interactive bridge between Africa and the world to accelerate ending FGM by 2030. So I hope this video sheds some light on what's going on with our sisters over there and maybe inspires you to be advocates for the cause sometime in the future. Female genital mutilation is also known as FGM for short, but is also known as FGC, which is the same thing as female genital cutting or circumcision. I heard about FGM before, but I was reintroduced to it a couple of months ago when I came across an article from 1994 published in Time magazine about this Nigerian lady named Lydia Oluloro, who was seeking cultural asylum because she feared that if she moved back to Nigeria, her two young daughters, ages 6 and 5 at the time, would be mutilated. Take a look at this video, which talks about the actual process of FGM.
There are different degrees of FGM. Before the procedure, the female genitals look like this. Type 1 is removing part or all of the clitoris. Type 2 goes further and also removes the inner labia and sometimes the labia majora. And Type 3 is a narrowing of the vaginal opening by cutting and repositioning the labia. Please go to www.justiceforfgmvictims.co.uk to join our campaign and sign our petition.
This is my view on this whole thing. In most places, the FGM procedure is a cultural tradition and not a religious requirement. It is seen as a rite of passage to womanhood, but what womanhood though? In my mind, womanhood is having your own life and making your own choices. In some cultures, if these women do not undergo this procedure, they are seen as not fit to marry. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What does that mean? So let me just borrow some words from an author I recently fell in love with. Her name is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Hey, I said that right. She does the second verse on Beyonce's Flawless single. It goes like this. We teach girls to shrink themselves, to make themselves smaller. We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much ambition. You should aim to be successful, but not too successful. Otherwise, you will threaten the man. Because I am female, I am expected to aspire to marriage. I'm expected to make my life choices, always keeping in mind that marriage is the most important. Now, marriage can be a source of joy and love and mutual support. But why do we teach girls to aspire to marriage and we don't teach boys the same? We raise girls to see each other as competitors, not for jobs or for accomplishments, which I think can be a good thing, but for the attention of men. We teach girls that they cannot be sexual beings in the way that boys are. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Now, clearly, this ideology is more prevalent on that side of the world and was on our side a while back. But I still feel like it lingers throughout our generation on this side of the world. But that's for another video. I don't want to get into this right now. My point is, some cultures saw this as the only way to prove a woman's virginity. And I think that is such a bias. Like, why is it that we have to prove ourselves to men, but men feel as if they don't have to do the same for us? And let me just point out that this is some men, not all. But again, this is for another video. So let me just talk about that. Women are clearly not seen as equal. In some cultures, it was also created to prevent prostitution. But this is my thing. Who the hell they prostituting with? Why the hell do we women have to pay for the sins of men? I don't see no dicks dropping to the ground. Like, why isn't there a consequence for men who take part in this so-called prostitution? Yes, men do get circumcised in some of these cultures, but just the foreskin. So to equate this procedure, the whole tip of a man's penis is supposed to be cut off. And I don't hear anyone volunteering for that to happen. So why should we force women to do the same? Okay, that's my little rant for the day. But alas, there are organizations dedicated to eradicating this. The United Nations has declared that FGM is a violation of the human rights of girls and women. So they implemented International Day for Zero Tolerance of FGM in 2003, which is celebrated February 6th every year. So that's it. I hope you got some information on FGM and maybe inspired you to probably donate to some of the nonprofits that help with the advocacy for women who have gone through FGM. So remember, God is love and